Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to today's TSF1 Greece Podcast by topspeed.gr with Alex and Panos and Dimitris. Guess who's back?
Hello!
Hello.
Dimitris was more excited to be back than Panos is. Okay, anyways.
Panos is always here, so...
Oh.
Okay, apply cold water to the burn, Dimitri.
It's okay.
Okay, so... Till Dimitris catches up with some ice for the burn, Pano, do you want to start with the free practice and the quali?
Of course. So, free practice 1, Friday morning, we have Max Verstappen in first position, as always, followed by Alexander Albon and Sergio Perez. Free practice 2, Friday afternoon, we have Max Verstappen once again, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc. Moving on to Saturday morning, Max Verstappen in first, Albon in second, and Checo Perez in third position. Moving on to qualifying, in Q1, out of Q2 we have in 16th Esteban Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, Lance Stroll, Lando Norris, who had an unfortunate moment and almost lost it, and Logan Sargeant in 20th, who was not classified because he couldn't even run a lap, he did not finish. Moving on to Q2 out of Q3, in 11th we have Pierre Gasly, Nico Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Alexander Albon, Tsunoda, yes, that's all. And moving on to Q3, in pole position we have Charles Leclerc. Our dear boy made it to the top for 40 meters after the start, followed by Carlos Sainz, 1-2 for Ferrari, third Max Verstappen, Ricciardo in fourth, fifth Sergio Perez, sixth Sir Lewis Goat Hamilton, seventh Oscar Piastri, eighth George Russell, ninth Bottas, and 10th Alexander's favorite, Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu.
He wanted to make a joke and he cannot even finish it. Okay.
No.
Typical Ferrari strategy, says the other Ferraristi. So,
Tifosi.
Diving, as well as I like to say, into the race. On the eve of the Mexico City Grand Prix, okay, that sounds more like an intro to a movie. So, the birthday celebrant Stroll took his position starting from the pit lane. That was a nice gift. Sargeant, having not posted a qualifying time the previous day, was granted the 19th spot on the starting grid.
Under a vivid blue sky and amid a record of 406,139 F1 enthusiasts at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the top 10 cars stood in this sequence before rushing into the first corner. Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Perez, Hamilton, Piastri, Russell, Bottas and Zhou. With the majority, the top 13 mounted on Pirelli mediums, Albon stood out with his choice of hard tires.
By the way, you wanted to say 400,639 F1 enthusiasts, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on. The initial lap was amazing. Verstappen on the inner line and Perez on the outer found themselves at odds as Perez breaking ahead swerved into Leclerc's trajectory, causing a slight collision, despite their efforts to return. Despite their efforts to return to the pit, both had to retire, leaving Verstappen in the lead.
So, by the end of the inaugural lap, the race standing were Verstappen, Leclerc and Sainz on the first three positions, followed by Ricciardo, Hamilton and Piastri, which were then preceded by Russell, Hulkenberg, Gasly and Zhou. Notably, in his 200th Grand Prix, Hulkenberg rose a commendable 4 positions to P8. By the 5th lap, Verstappen had established a 2-second lead over a slightly damaged but persistent Leclerc. Ferrari never fails to disappoint, to deliver disappointment.
Exactly. On lap 15, the top order was Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Piastri, Russell, Hulkenberg, Gasly and Zhou. Verstappen's pit stop strategy saw him in the lead by a smidge over 4 seconds, which soon changed after he pitted, leaving Leclerc to take the temporary lead.
By lap 22, Hamilton was keenly challenging Sainz for the third spot. Through Verstappen was closing the gap swiftly, Leclerc and Sainz, both yet to pit, held their positions.
So after that, despite a flurry of activity and change in the midfield, by lap 30 we have Verstappen showing dominance by overtaking Sainz effortlessly and reducing Leclerc's lead. Norris was also making waves, climbing from P18 to challenge Albon.
The 33rd lap was marred by Magnussen's terrifying crash, which not only brought out the safety car but also led to a red flag. The race needed a halt to clear debris and address damages. This interruption reshuffled the pack, leading to a standing start.
As the race restarted, Verstappen quickly reclaimed his lead. Hamilton, however, was steadily trailing Leclerc, and by the 45th lap, the top order was Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Ricciardo, Piastri, Tsunoda, Albon and Hulkenberg.
Anyway, towards the end, Verstappen, ever dominant, displayed his prowess by pulling away from Hamilton, not really a task, who in turn had the Ferraris well within his grip. Again, to nobody's surprise, I guess. Norris made a brilliant move on Russell to claim P5, but the day unequivocally belonged to Verstappen. His victory margin showcased his absolute supremacy on the track. Anyway, to nobody's interest, Dimitris has got an announcement to make.
Not again. So
Yeah, we pulled the joke in Greek, so it has to be in English as well.
So I decided to stop supporting Mercedes as a fan.
Supporting the GOAT Sir Lewis Hamilton
Hamilton, yes,
and Mercedes.
and start being a McLaren fan.
Wow. So
Wow.
he needs drama. He needs like bad days.
He needs
in his
more
life.
disappointment.
Fun fact: he stopped supporting Hamilton and he comes second. No comments, I guess.
So, yes.
Okay, so that was it pretty much from us for the Mexico Grand Prix. We look forward to seeing you next week, next Monday, again, same time, same place, with the Grand Prix of Brazil taking place at Interlagos. It is the third to last race for the season, because then we will have Las Vegas, which is interesting to say the least. How that will go.
Interestingly boring.
Okay, Panos throwing the knives there. I will just sit and see patiently what is what. And then we will finally come to Abu Dhabi, where we will end this year's season. So, anything more to add?
No, I
No.
think that was it.
Wow, okay. One at a time, please. Just wait. So, thank you very much for listening to us today. We also plan on announcing at the end of the month, after the end of the season, some updates and changes with F1, with our podcast, and some more interesting things will come for next year. We also have the last WEC race for whoever's interested. That will also be coming next week, probably after F1 though, since it's not that popular. And yeah, that's it pretty much. So, from all of us, thank you very much for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.